Tonight, what happens when buses get out of control? We're on the buses in police camera action.
Between lanes 2 and 3. It takes us 120 miles an hour. Yankee 6, keep coming, keep coming. 230 southbound.
Driving too close. On the wrong side of the road. Rare behaviour among the UK's 100,000 bus and coach drivers.
The bus is an inherently safe form of transport, with a highly trained driver at the wheel. 12 million passengers a day catch the bus, and it's highly unlikely they'll ever face any trouble. But the sheer size and weight of the bus, 8 tons, with every 15 passengers adding a further ton, means that when things do go wrong, they go spectacularly wrong.
And things can only get worse when the vehicle is stolen. The police, pursuing this runaway coach on the M1, have set up a roadblock of heavy lorries to force it into the outside lane, where a Stinger unit is waiting to puncture the coach's tyres. But unusually, the trap fails to stop the coach, as the Stinger is caught up in its wheels. The coach struggles on, tracked by the thermal image camera of the Chiltern Air Support Unit. The thieves turn off the motorway. The trapped Stinger swings out from under the front wheels of the coach. 3 teenagers stole the coach from Hertfordshire, but were stopped by the police near Dunstable. They panicked, starting a pursuit involving officers from 4 different forces. As the driver still stubbornly refuses to stop, the police try a different tactic to bring the chaos to an end. An officer uses his 4x4 vehicle as a rolling block to bring the coach to a halt and give colleagues vital time to surround it. It seems as though it's all over, but the coach thief and his accomplices have other ideas. They think they've disabled the pursuing vehicles after the callous ramming and speed away. But their determination is more than matched by that of the officer in the 4x4. This time, there's no escape, and the police quickly arrest the driver and his 2 young passengers. The driver is convicted of aggravated vehicle taking and is sentenced to 2¼ years in a young offenders institution and disqualified from driving for 42 months. Even professional drivers sometimes make unbelievable maneuvers in a bid to keep to their timetables. And they're not immune from intimidating other road users, as we see here in Sweden. It's the same story in London. A bus driver and a motorist are locked in battle. Both drivers refuse to give any quarter. And their argument continues as they turn the corner. There are 3,500 collisions between cars and buses every year in Britain. And in the United States, this fleeing criminal loses out in his battle with a bus. While in India, trouble is just around the corner when buses share the rural roads with huge vehicles. The countryside can be just as hazardous as the city.
The combine harvester is a common sight in Britain as farmers up and down the country struggle to bring their crop in on time. This 210 horsepower, 130,000 pound machine can cut 40 acres of barley in just one day. But as our next set of clips show, for police working in rural areas, there's a criminal crop as well as the barley to be brought in.
47, I'm directly behind it, Hellifield. We're going to try and get it stopped now.
It appears that the police in North Yorkshire have a Land Rover, stolen from Skipton, hemmed in, and the situation under control. Until, that is, the thieves make a dangerous bid for freedom.
47, we've had one county vehicle with a Golf Echo mobile. It's failing to stop towards Hellifield, over. And if you let me get...
Taking up the pursuit is the specialised driver of a video car. His pictures will provide vital evidence.
Lines of traffic now, over. Yes, affirmative, no injuries, or it's a collision, over.
Ignoring the safety of other road users, the thieves weave through the traffic, barely keeping control of their stolen Land Rover.
Yeah, 47, we're still towards, still A65 towards Coniston.
Failing to obey even the most basic of road rules, they carve through the traffic, overtaking on double white lines, on the brow of a hill, in the face of oncoming vehicles.
26 out, please.
Then, in a bid to throw off the police, the thieves take the stolen 4x4 off-road.
Yeah, 47, he's turning off, he's going over rough ground.
Despite the rough terrain, the police officer in the pursuing unmarked BMW sticks closely to his quarry.
Just short of Coniston cutting, over. We're over fields now, over fields.
Even when the thieves take to the open fields of the Yorkshire Dales, the officer in the road-going BMW keeps them in his sights.
47, still over fields, over.
But where?
Yeah, very good question, over. I don't know what you call field. 47, straight through a fence, over. Yeah, I'm still following.
Scattering a flock of sheep, the thieves pay no regard to the country code and demolish another fence.
Yeah, straight through another fence. And another fence.
Despite the fact the officer's car isn't built with such a rough and bumpy pursuit in mind, he's determined that the thieves, in a specialised vehicle, will not get away from him.
Yeah, 47 is damaged underneath, I don't know how badly, over.
Leaving a trail of destruction in their wake, the thieves speed down the main road, and this time try to escape through a housing estate, with no thought for the safety of local residents. The longer the pursuit continues, the more police become involved, making the outcome inevitable.
No, we haven't. We're still A65, over.
But in a last-ditch effort, the thieves again plunge off-road, this time across a ploughed field where even the BMW can't follow. The officer's dogged determination pays off, and his colleagues arrest the thieves at the other side. But even the most unlikely of vehicles go off-road these days. These caravan thieves are about to take to the fields in an attempt to get away with their booty, stolen from a caravan park in Hunstanton in Norfolk. The police are quickly on their trail.
We'll give you a junction direction in a minute. It'll either be towards Flitcham or towards Appleton.
Tearing down the narrow farm track, their only thought is escape.
Yeah, we're on the field in pursuit. That's a stubble field. We got to watch now. We've probably got to get a ram if we don't watch out.
But unsurprisingly, a combination of rough terrain and lack of control causes the thieves to career into a hedge.
They're running.
A new weapon has hit our streets in a bid to stop our cities from grinding to a standstill. But amazingly, the new enforcement camera is not fitted to a police car, nor to the side of the road. It's here, at the front of a double-decker London bus. One camera recording events in the bus lane, the other taking close-ups of the number plates of any vehicles that are in the way. Radio technology pinpoints the exact position of this number 10 bus and automatically switches on the camera the moment it enters the bus lane. The video system, which the driver has no control over, is then automatically switched off the moment the bus lane ends. The completed videotape is then evaluated by police officers to see if any offence has been committed, and any driver caught using the bus lane illegally will receive a fixed penalty notice through the post. Our next clip showed just how easy it is to get caught on the bus cam.
It may look clever, but people who abuse the bus lanes cost passengers 55 million hours in delays every year. It can be an expensive shortcut. The maximum fine for bus lane abuse is £1,000 and 3 points on your licence. Two synchronised cameras record different views. One reads the number plate in close-up, while the other shows the type of offence, like parking illegally. Some car drivers barely even notice that the bus is on the road. This driver not only abuses the bus lane, he completely ignores the bus right behind him. And, adding insult to injury, he abandons his car on the zigzag lines of the pedestrian lights, forcing the bus to a standstill. And it seems that this learner driver has still got some lessons to learn. But as the bus lane camera scheme spreads, selfish driving should become a thing of the past. Coming up, trying to outrun a police helicopter in a stolen status symbol, why this police camera cracks up under pressure, and how science fiction becomes reality as we catch up with the high-tech voice of the law. Devon and Cornwall police have been patrolling from these skies for almost 20 years. Covering an area that includes the beautiful coastal resorts, ranges across the bleak moors, right out to the Isles of Scilly, this aircraft is not a luxury. It's a vital crime-fighting tool. And this Eurocopter BK-117 is a major advance. It's bigger, faster, and can go further than any previous police helicopter. But it's in here where the really exciting developments have taken place. Incorporating military technology developed for the Eurofighter, this system allows the observer to operate the whole bank of equipment using just his voice.
Map, zoom out, go.
He can select which radio, even which channel to use. He can switch the camera pod between video and thermal imaging and lock on to the action. he can call up any location on a video map and zoom into it. All of that can be operated by just the observer and the pilot, freeing up vital resources on the ground. And together, they just don't give the criminal much of a chance.
Victor Oscar 99, still lane 3, speed about 80 miles per hour, but traffic in front of it. Roger 99.
The Devon and Cornwall police helicopter has picked up the trail of this Porsche sports car just 5 minutes after it's been stolen from a showroom in Exeter. At first, the thief thinks that he's got away with the brand new Carrera as he flees up the M5. But eventually he notices the traffic cars catching him up, who've been guided to him by the helicopter. Pushing the stolen £70,000 supercar to the limit, the thief makes a run for it at speeds of up to 144 miles an hour. That's over twice the legal speed limit.
Stay on our channel for this, for the moment, don't we? Temporary loss of you. When then we'll start heading to you, Oscar 99. Yeah, noted, thank you. Oscar 99, did you get that? Oscar 99, yeah, we'll stay with it for the time being.
The helicopter keeps pace with the Porsche. The air support unit is an integral part of the force. In just 1 year, the crew were involved in over 400 crime searches and rescued nearly 100 people. Now the helicopter tracks the speeding sports car as it weaves dangerously through the motorway traffic, accelerating after hitting a clear stretch of road. Abandoning the carriageway, the thief races down the hard shoulder at a suicidal pace, endangering his own life and that of innocent drivers around him.
Roger. QP Oscar 99. 515, go ahead. And the model, Porsche, the colour and the registration number and Whiskey 8. Would you be aware that he might come off at 26?
Unaware that the helicopter is still following his every move, he finally commits himself to leaving the motorway.
Yeah, stand by, he's come off at 25, he's gone on a B road, stand by. The Oscar 99 gone towards Sawyer's Hill, I believe. He's gone towards Sawyer's Hill, if you know that, okay,
In the mistaken belief that he's shaken off any possible pursuers, the thief dives into the open yard of an innocent farmer and abandons the stolen Porsche. Eventually, the thief realizes he's not alone, looks into the sky, spots the helicopter, and knows the game is up.
Yeah, that's the guy there, that's the guy.
He's later sentenced to 18 months in a young offenders institution. But it's not only criminals who abuse the roads. Not one, not two, but 3 drivers think they're above waiting in the morning rush hour and sneak down the wrong side of the road, past an officer in an unmarked police car. He follows them, and to the satisfaction of the patient motorists in the queue, they're all booked.
130 circulation 4.
Pull over.
A recent loss of stolen from a Romeo Kilo section 1 inch.
Pull over.
And towards 1 inch is 0832.
Pull over. Pull over, I want to speak to you.
Occasionally, things go wrong for the police. Answering an emergency call at high speed, sirens wailing and lights flashing, South Yorkshire police experience one of the worst nightmares, a rear tyre blowout.
Alright, mate. Yeah, fine. That's Tango Mike Alpha 1.
Tango Mike Alpha 1.
Yeah, I've been involved in RTA M180.
Can you ask Sierra 1 to attend, please? All officers all right. We have it at the centre.
Police drivers are trained to deal with all eventualities, and their skill helps keep them calm as they move the stricken vehicle to the safety of the hard shoulder. Potentially fatal accidents can happen at any time, and this incident underlines the importance of keeping a proper distance and staying alert on the motorway.
I feel a bit dizzy, but that's about it.
This is the South Oxford Canal, a typical peaceful English setting, tranquil and relaxing. But in Easter 1998, this area was devastated. The skies opened and more than 3 inches of rain fell in just a few hours. Canals and rivers burst their banks.
The problem they've got is that the water is coming...
The water pours down so fast, the boats and their owners are utterly stranded. Dry land inaccessible and remote.
Towards the motorway so far.
So far.
The air support unit was scrambled to assess the scale of the problem, and canal boats were moored along here under these high banks. But torrents of water were cascading down from the fields behind. This whole area was flooded.
Yeah, received X-ray Alpha 97. We've got people from the boat on the phone to us. Let me confirm we're at the same location.
The police radio operator, the only contact the boats have with the outside world, reports on the escalating danger. As the flood rises, the boat's moorings become tighter and tighter until the lines start to drag the boats underwater. But if they cut the moorings, the boats are in grave danger of overturning, with the terrible possibility of drowning all on board.
Yeah, we'd go with that.
As the police considered the options for a rescue, the water levels were continuing to rise and the canal boats were increasingly under threat. Luckily, the observer in the police helicopter spotted the fire brigade with an inflatable dinghy at the industrial estate just across those fields. But things were not as simple as they seemed.
Sorry, not aware of it.
Because the only hope the boat owners have left, the fire brigade's launch, is being packed away. The brigade are unaware of the danger which is so close to them, and the horrified helicopter observer can't contact them.
97, as a matter of urgency, I need a Panda to go to the Wildmere Industrial Estate. The fire brigade are not contactable, they're putting their boat away, and we need to get contact with them to get them to these people on the canal boat. Do you have a unit for that, 97?
We'll find one.
These floods have claimed the lives of 5 people, and the helicopter crew are determined that no more lives are lost. Their tenacity has led to the vital contact being made with the fire brigade, but time is running out.
I'm hoping that there will be a boat with them very shortly. Yeah, if you could also reassure them that we are trying our best to get people to them. They are out watching us and wondering what's going on, but we are getting people to them as best as possible.
In the last available seconds, the fire brigade's dinghy races to the rescue.
We have the fire boat, Thunderbird 4, in view. We are in contact with them on 96, 97.
The dinghy, call sign Thunderbird 4, reaches the canal boat, whose stern is barely above the water. The relieved family clamber to safety and are swiftly taken to dry land. Their ordeal over. These floods were the worst in over half a century. But on the roads there are strange happenings every day of the week. Finally, we show you why officers remain amazed by the evidence gathered by their own cameras. It's simply unbelievable.
He's got the full 3-piece suite.
You're unbelievable. You're unbelievable.